He's in public school.
Hello. I throw the little scratches with all this pollen going on. Welcome back to the Family Fortune. It's me, your girl Ashana, and over there hiding.
It's Malcolm.
And we have a very, very, very special guest with us today. I'm going to just let her take it. Go ahead, take it.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, right? It was just so much to talk about. So I'm like, I don't even want to mess up one little single thing of all the accomplishments that you have done.
It's going to be brief. I am Dr. Alatoria Cranford.
Come on, say it again, doctor.
Dr. Alatoria Cranford. I do have a doctorate in philosophy in urban higher education from Jackson State University. But I am first an alum of Payne College right here in Augusta, Georgia.
Come on.
I've been in higher education 14 years now.
Oh, wow.
So even my business wraps around that whole entity of higher education, helping students transition. And not just the students, but the parents as well. Being a first generation student, I've learned through experience. And then serving that same population over these last 14 years at I'm at my fourth HBCU. Yeah, I see a lot of changes, a lot take place.
What has that experience been like for you?
My greatest reward is when the students find that aha moment, or when the parent says thank you, because they didn't know. But there are many parents that try to tell their student what to do, tell them what to major in, but the student has no love, no like for it. It's just something that's popular from maybe where they're from, or someone in their family have done. But over the years, the student need changes, and the institutions also have to keep up. Okay. So it's different. The population now, the new student, they are extremely different. It's like I don't have another term for it without being
good.
rude.
I think that's the word I've seen banning about a lot of it's different. This new generation, not just Gen Alpha, but Gen Z, and
it's a mix.
Yeah, different.
And so in my current position at Alabama A&M, I serve as the director of the honors program. So I don't experience the first gen as much as I do now. Well, it's in a different aspect. So most of our students are international.
Oh, wow.
So they're extremely smart, but the only thing they really need are probably like resources and not financial because they're smart. So the schools pay for, so it's personal items, you know?
Oh, wow.
The first gen serving is in the freshman academy or something like that, they need guidance. Like choosing options, decisions making, pros and cons.
Do you ever have students that come in and they don't necessarily want to go to school, but they were forced to go to school? And so how do you help them navigate that? Like being in school when that's really not what they really want to do?
Absolutely. Often. Try to find the best way to help them communicate it to their parent. And then, with in higher education, FERPA, we're not allowed to really discuss student business.
Okay, what's FERPA? You know what FERPA is?
No, I do not.
It's like an actual document, government form with policy where we can't share student information unless the student allows permission. Okay. So if you were to call me and say, hey, I need to know what John Doe grades look like.
Not like I was when I was in school. I
cannot share that.
Well, they're adults at that point.
Well,
they make their own decisions.
Right.
So.
They are adults, but and I'm glad it's changed. Because like I said, I used to have to tell Daphne, that's my mama, all the time, hey.
Yeah, it's an actual law. So, but with that, although the student may give permission for their parent to look at it in front of them, they can always go back to the office and change it. Because again, they are an adult at this moment. And so those are conversations we have to have. And sometimes many higher education professionals like myself will hide behind FERPA any minute. I'm unable to discuss that with you.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
As bad as I want to share, I am unable to discuss that with you. I remember one instance where a friend of mine, they knew a student was at the institution I was at.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, yeah, apparently they banned from this, or they got into some trouble. I just want to know what's going on. I go to my students first,
Right.
because they get all the tea.
So that's good. That's good.
I had video in like 3 minutes
That's good.
of what the student did. And so they were like, well, what's happening? I look up the student academic aspect first. And in my mind, I was like, no need to advocate for this one because they going home anyway. They got all F's.
Oh, wow.
But I couldn't say that to, the family. Like, that's between them and their student to have that conversation. But I'm like, y'all can go. They was like, well, who need to talk to? Whoever said they were banned, go start with them.
Oh.
So, I was unable to say, like, they're not coming back anyway because they have all F's. 2 semesters straight of F's.
Did they even go to
No, seriously. Apparently not, because they WWE out there.
They did not go to
slamming bodies.
So, you say you've been at 4 HBCUs. I'm trying to see if mine's going to be named. I don't think so, but I'm ever hopeful. Which one? So, Payne?
Probably not. Payne College.
Fort Baton.
Yeah.
Enemy. I remember that.
Southern University, Baton Rouge, and Fort Valley State University.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about
currently
that
Alabama A&M.
So we're not going to talk about that school.
Unfortunately, Albany didn't make the cut. Albany. How y'all say?
Albany.
Now, was that by choice of sticking with HBCUs, or was that just kind of what opened up to you?
In the beginning, yes. It has always been HBCUs. But lately, I feel like I need to step away. Only for the sake that I think adjacent higher ed roles will be more beneficial than being on the campus, because there are people in positions making decisions that they have no idea is happening on the campus. So it's almost like the church. They like to compare the black college to the black church. Everybody want to see the pastor. Everybody want to see the president. We shouldn't always see the president, but we should see him, in some form or fashion as it relates to support and advocacy. So lately, it's just been a lot of decision making happening that doesn't look good in many cases. So having people in positions, whether it be UNCF, Thurgood Marshall College Fund, College Board, SRED in Atlanta, advocating and working on policy for this space, it's going to always look good.
Yeah, but growing up, and I can see it was the thing in the Black community to go to a HBCU. When at the time when I went, it wasn't necessarily a good thing as far as my education and further on, because I walked away with a master's degree, but ended up in the military. And that's because even though some of the educational aspects were there, a lot of the things that you may find either at a private college or one of the the big 4, what have you, is like the internship opportunities, the work education opportunities. So it was more about the Black experience on the campus versus what's going to happen once I graduate. I'm glad to see a lot of things have changed, because when I went, it was Albany State College. Now it's Albany State University.
Many of y'all alumni, y'all like to hold on with it. I went to college.
I went to college. I did go to college.
I went to the college, not the university. I had so many alumni.
Well, I liked it because it was a smaller it was smaller and it was more tight knit, and so the classes were actually smaller, and you got a little bit more one-on-one with a lot of the professors that taught there. And then of course, I still have lifelong friends from way back when.
It's always a plus.
I've only been back once, and I was like,
Wow.
You got to go back. There was one point I couldn't even get back to Payne College because of work. UNCF always had to go to a conference. And then I was in school for those few years, missing every homecoming. But when that homecoming came up and I was there, not missing one.
Okay, so we don't got way to learn. But this is good information, good information about the college life experience. But let's talk about how students and their parents or guardians and whomever can, start to get prepared financially for college, if college is where they want to go. And when I say college, I don't mean just a 4-year.
Absolutely.
I mean, it could be a junior college, technical
college. Junior and community college. It's real bad.
So let's talk about some of the things.
Preparing financially for college, it looks different for many people. But the starting point is understanding what it is the student or your child has an interest in. Because I've seen many students matriculate through that first semester or first year as a whole. No idea. They just hear because my mama say this is after high school. And they went to college just to say, hey, I went to college, but they ain't doing nothing.
Right.
So that's a waste of money, especially when you're, filling out the FAFSA, which we'll talk about a little later, and taking out loans in some cases. So with me being a first-gen student, I didn't pay anything for undergrad. My paying college experience is free.
Awesome.
For the sake of my academics and sports. So,
be smart.
Is that something new? Or
I received money for my grades as well as my athletics. So I got
I keep
one?
First gen. I was talking about
first generation is I'm a student of parents that did not go to college.
Oh, okay. So I thought
they didn't graduate, So but now my mom has 2 degrees. So
awesome.
Were you the inspiration?
I mean, I like to say, put a little rap on
Oh, come on. No, I thought that you were, I knew what it meant, but I thought you were referring to some sort of
scholarship,
like a scholarship or an
that
opportunity.
that could be a thing. So when it comes to scholarships, we'll talk about different types. Demographic could be a search point. But as far as saving for college, it's just like saving for anything else. I remember growing up, my mom used to be like, oh, you need to save your money. You can tell me all day to save, but how you do it?
Exactly.
So it wasn't until like when I got to college or adulting for real that I learned what saving looks like. Saving it to me then, when she say save your money, I'm saving it till I go to the store the next time.
Exactly.
Versus, trying to build a pundit. So for parents, you have to make it a priority. Like we pay our tithe, we put a percentage aside to build that college fund if you want to support or don't want to take out loans, or if early is better. Many like to think it has to be senior year that we should be looking for these things.
Oh no, that's too late.
Or junior year, but honestly, you can start looking as soon as they hit that 9th grade, 8th grade, because those scholarships that are coming around, they're coming around the same time frame every year. So if I'm at a high school and I notice, this person keep getting this scholarship, or this is what's happening, I'm making a list of those things.
Right.
So parents, when their students are at these awards, now we're in that season where we're April. So
they're about to start happening.
Right now they are awarding dollars. So anyone with a child that's a junior, sophomore, need to be making note of what all these scholarships are, because they're going to come around again. And the deadline is normally March 1st for them to apply for them.
There's I know you know Jana. She hosts a page on Facebook called Proud Parent Foundation, and that's a good resource locally for those who follow her. Because if I see it, I post scholarships and stuff in there. Plus, there's also another site that I was on DM about. It's called College Funding Hero, and it's just a listing of scholarships, when the deadline is, and what the application process is.
There are so many handles, especially even on Instagram, that people need to follow. When I say they are giving A through Z and 1 through 10 and more, how to look for it, here are new scholarships with deadline. They're actually posting what the scholarship is. This is the deadline. So the people that I consult with externally with my business, I always share those links. Like, hey, follow them because they're posting current scholarships. That's not my primary, but it is a part of my window when I'm communicating with people. But I know we have partnerships, so I just share the information. And it'd be like 10 scholarships. And it seems like they're posting scholarships every other day. So it's almost like there's no reason to not find anything. And the money is out there.
It is so much money out there.
I have learned that many people are just lazy with applying because it forces you to write something. But the key is, if you write a standard essay about you, your goals, what do you want to become, how will this money assist you? That's all you share with everybody. However, many people miss scholarship opportunities as well because they don't follow the instructions. If the deadline is passed, if they wanted one single file, not 8 different files, they're not even going to look at your information. Like it's that tedious. That's
one of the things that I've noticed. Like I volunteered once at the Junior Achievement Discovery Center, and the kids are very smart. They're so smart. They're so tech savvy and everything else. But while they're tech savvy, because their fingers move fast, they're not reading. And I just sit there and I'm like, did you actually read what you just did.
Just moving.
You're just moving ahead, which is okay. But did you read? Because now you messed this up, or you no longer qualify for this loan because you didn't bother to read the application. Yeah. So that's a key institute when applying for the scholarships. Make sure you read.
Being fast.
Make sure you read.
You have to read because some may not even want an essay. They may want a 3-minute video, 1-minute video. They want a point. I mean, it varies, like what they ask for. So it's just paying attention to details, the deadlines, submitting how they want to see. If they want PDF, do PDF. If they want PNG, use PNG. Whatever takes place, like to the detail, because that's how they really sort out goals and no's.
Now, would you recommend to the parents that they don't do it for them?
They need to do it together, because many of your students, they get to the campus, the parent be like, go ask this. Then the student come back to the parent and say, well, they said, who's they? You don't know what even office they was in. And it really becomes a headache. Even when they come to our offices asking for information, when they said I'm supposed to come here, who is they? Like, what does that mean? So I think they should do it together, because if there is an issue or if they need some clarity, they're only going to get the right answer if they ask the right question, which is where many of them fail. So you want to do it together, but make sure they understand what's taking place. But if you're the one, I've heard parents say, well, I got to do this because I know they're not going to do it. Well, who graduate? Are they graduating? You know? And I hear it often, like I have to do it because they're not going to ABC. So that also let us know, because we get to talk on our end too. That means you're doing their work too. That's why they don't know.
We won't have to ignore the lawn guy that's right outside.
I don't hear him in my headphones.
I do. But that's okay. You know, I got extra space here. I got extra space here.
But so,
thank you for that. So, FAFSA, you mentioned that earlier. Oh, now, what the heck is that?
It's a free application for federal student aid. So FAFSA is a must to complete.
Something else that's new.
Yeah, it is a must to complete if you want to receive free aid. And that aid is not always scholarships. I know there's Pell Grant for some, Hope Scholarship that may still exist in some areas, but it depends on what is taking place in whatever landscape or area that they're in. So enrolling in college, if your FAFSA is not completed, the institution may not move forward helping to get advised or enroll.
Oh, wow.
They'll see it as an intent to not enroll if your FAFSA is completed. Or if you show up like, yeah, I'm coming, but the FAFSA isn't complete, they sit you to a computer, you got to do this first before you can go to the next step. So it's really just a way to gain aid. And it doesn't hurt to apply.
It doesn't.
And people think because you apply for FAFSA, you're automatically signing up for loans. Loans could be an option once they, go through all of your parents' finances or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's really just giving you options. You choose.
And see, that's so totally different from when I went through. We used to have to go to the financial aid office, get this little thick packet.
They still got it.
With the
You said they don't do it no more? Or they don't read it?
With the triple carbons. And then, you know,
get a sheet.
Everybody get a sheet. And, you had, but I stopped. But since I already got my grade, but, I was signing my name on the dotted line.
And so when I was an undergrad, I knew that I didn't have to pay for anything. So when they sent that little balance to the house, I was like, go to the financial aid office now. She wanted to be on the phone when I went there. Yep. So you have some parents like that. And I was like, all right, mom, ask now. Like, she yelling on the phone. Like, hold on. But, it's good to have some parents that are aware. And that's why I say they need to do those things together, because the student may miss something. And there are many students, hey, they said I got a schedule, so I'm good to go, but they don't know the back end, which may have a balance. And we can get into it.
Well,
oh, I know about that. I know that hasn't changed. The way they handle it may have changed, but you have a balance after a certain part. Thank you for being in attendance, but you don't have to vacate.
But did y'all have payment plans? Was that a thing?
I don't know. I was a
thing now.
I was a victim of the student loans, and that's only because I was like, and not because I actually needed it, but and that's why.
My masters had me a victim. Trying to get it done quick. But yeah, they have payment plans now, so several options to consider paying for college. So you fill out the FAFSA, and you need to do it early. This year they opened it late.
Yeah, I saw something
because they had some changes. So even for some institutions, their date has been pushed back to say that, hey, this is the date of intent for the college.
Question: when you say payment plans, what do you mean by that? Because I'm thinking about when you get on a loan over time, you pay. That's a payment plan right there. When you pay back the loan, but are you talking about like not getting a loan and just paying the school monthly or something like that?
Yeah, your loan is included with interest. The payment plan is if your bill is $800, paying $200 to that $800 is gone for that semester. Because in many cases they would not many, most cases, well, all cases I would say, if you have a balance at the end of the say I have a balance at the end of this spring term, they would not let me register for summer or fall because it's this term has to be cleared.
Yeah.
And one thing parents want to be mindful of when your student says, oh, my balance is gone, the school could have waived the balance just so they can register, but they still have that balance once they didn't register for the classes. So they want to be sure to circle back to make sure the account really
like get me a receipt.
Make sure the account says zero. So just to be like, hey, I don't see the balance anymore.
Okay,
some institutions can waive it just so they can register if they're lower balances. Just being honest, but you always want to circle back and make sure that it is a clear balance. Just in case, because some schools have like emergency funding, so they do clear. But you just want to make sure it's receipt, like you said, it says zero.
Receipt. College is so expensive.
No, it really is.
Oh my goodness. I thought it was high when I was going.
And it keeps increasing. So outside of the FAFSA, you get grants and scholarships you don't pay back with any loans that you choose. You got to pay back at some point.
Yeah.
Well, some people choose. You got to pay back. It's just like a regular bill, but you want to try your best to have either scholarships or grants because you don't have to pay those back, or using savings of some sort. Other avenues for scholarships, looking at yourself. Listen, I'm left-handed. There may be a left-handed scholarship out there. Demographics.
Wow.
Being a widow, a single mother.
That's interesting.
I heard there's a book.
Having a single parent. There are many demographics to consider when you're applying for scholarships.
I think there's a book, and I don't know how often they update it. It's like a guide to scholarships. It's like you said, the A to Z and 100 listing of all the available scholarships, and it's I think I saw it at Barcelona one time, and it's divided by state and whatever. So I was like, wow, and it was a thick book. It was
so yeah. There's so many aspects to consider, especially looking at yourself. My father's deceased. There could be a scholarship for that. Green eyes, who knows, could have a scholarship for that, But people create scholarships based off of their set parameters. So like a scholarship at Payne College, for me, would be a female interested in STEM or biology. They could have to be from South Carolina. I can make it that strict. You got to have gray hair at the age of 20. I want to be there precise, they create the scholarships to whatever stipulation they desire. So you want to look at you first when it comes to searching for scholarships. And then secondly, you want to look at the major. The campus, the schools, they have their general financial aid sites with a list of scholarships, general. However, if the student is aware of the major that they're interested in, those departments have additional money in some cases. So although I may get my academic scholarship from Payne because I had 3.5, that money's coming. But I major in biology. The biology department has another scholarship because you're a bio major or a female.
Wow.
The money's out there.
You want to look.
The money is
you just gotta look. You just gotta look.
Fill out that FAFSA.
The FAFSA is a starter kit.
Read what is required for the
FAFSA is the starter kit, and I can't stress that enough. It's the starter kit, not just for funding, but just to completing being enrolled in college. And not let you move forward out of complete.
And some other fundings, opportunity out here, or savings opportunity, is 529 plan.
You don't hear a lot of people talk about that.
I had a 529 plan started for my son when he was little. And they had this site, I don't even know if it's active anymore, it's called New Promise. And it was at the beginning of when online shopping, my son's grown. When online shopping was becoming a thing. So it was like you shop online through the New Promise link, and
Percentage.
and the percentage would go through. So I saved a lot, and then you can invest it into a 529 plan. And so I saved a lot doing that. Now, thank goodness I found out. And at the time, you can only use the 529 plan for college. So
we don't hear anything about that now.
Yeah, but thankfully, where I hadn't invested, they created an opportunity where you can switch it over, because I knew by then that he was not going to go to school, that was not going to be his path forward. So I was able to shift that money over. Otherwise, it would have been lost, because it's used primarily for education.
That's a plus.
Yes, and I was like, dang, because I was about ready to choke him. I'm like, dude, I have no money. It's like, this is money. But yeah, so it was, those are things that a lot of people don't even look into. And I think a lot of the institutions now that offer the 529 plans give you the option of being able to switch it over if at some point
you decide not to
use for education. You get that over?
And beyond that, once a student is enrolled, I mean, there's some other avenues for extra funding, whether it be work study.
Work study.
Yep.
Me too. Work study was in the gym.
Mine was with the football.
So work study is one, but people also oftentimes miss if they were running like student leadership positions. Sometimes they're SGA, Royal Court. They all get stipends. It's like they get paid to lead. They did too. I was never a resident assistant.
I did that for when I was
being RA.
That's how I got my master's. I was a resident assistant. It totally paid for my master's.
RA, that's another like campus job. But outside of work study, some departments may have extra funding to hire people. So these are questions you all just have to ask. But also understanding the important thing about scholarships, you should never stop looking for them. People get excited, I got this for the first year. You still got 3 more years or 3+, it depends on how it works.
Yeah.
But you have to understand with scholarships, especially when you get external scholarships or any scholarships from anybody, how is it split? So if I get a $10,000 scholarship, people think, it's just for semester 1. Now that $10,000 might be over all 4 years. It could just be over the first 2 years. You have to understand the stipulations of the scholarship that you receive. Which could be misleading if they don't know to ask what percentage is covered.
I'm scared. No, I don't think I even thought about that either. So
it could be split over a certain time frame. So you have to understand that.
And we have the C.S. Hamilton Scholarship here at Tabernacle, and I was fussed at Deacon Pope, who was like in charge of collating all the documents and paperwork. I'm like, why you take that? And our thing is, we're going to give you the scholarship anyway. But I'm like, the kids aren't even invested. Why are you going to submit your photo? Because you have to submit a photo. Okay. And you sitting up in the car leaning like this.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
can't stand it.
And I'm like, no. I said, why you send it back? And she's nicer than me. So I'm like, that's probably why I'm not on the committee.
And we get them right on in college. You're like, what is this? To the point now that actually some of our programming involves creating a professional profile, taking headshots, because I know that many of the students have no idea.
And as long as
staff don't either, but that's another.
As long as we keep accepting it, they're going to keep doing it.
I can hear somebody I turn around and like this,
and they did.
You know how,
and they do, or they're, ladies. Showing all your assets in a photo for scholarships in college. No. Let's just do better.
Yeah. So that's a part of the professional etiquette that we try to tackle in the first year of college.
Yeah.
That they may not understand or grasp in the moment.
I think I saw the title. What's the title of the class that you teach? Something about college is not the third.
It's not 13th grade.
13th grade, wow.
I like that.
Yeah, that is my ongoing tag for when I talk about transitioning.
Yeah.
And that's for the student and the parent. Like, parent, we want you to support, but we need them to grasp it because you're going to leave. So, yeah, it's not 13th grade, and that goes, making the transition personally, professionally, academically. Finding friends, knowing that, hey, no one is calling your phone or setting an alarm to wake you up. That's on you. Professor's not going to track you down and be like, hey, I missed you. You missed this assignment. I need you to turn in. It's a 0. It's a 0. It's up to you to go and advocate for yourself. Self-advocacy is a big thing too, that they're learning, within the classroom. I mean, of course, they're going to march and do silent protests outside.
Yeah, that college
and that's for student engagement, but for the classroom aspect, it looks different.
That college experience is something awful. I joke when I say this, but I'm actually being dead serious. I don't remember my freshman year a lot because, I was experiencing college life. However, thank God every day that even though I don't remember a lot of what was going on, I never missed class. And I had all them 8 o'clock classes, and my grade point average never dropped. I was living the dream, living the life.
And then that, being an athlete, I don't know, my freshman year, they were like, yeah, we went to so-and-so for our new student orientation. I'm like, I think I was at practice. So I didn't really have like a true first year because being an athlete. So those are things to consider as well. When you want to do athletics, you have to meet a certain GPA, you have to have a certain test score in and outside of the classroom. You have to communicate with your professors, or than that, they may drop you from the class. And you may lose scholarships if you don't have the desired credit hours to meet that actual funding. So you have many students like, I don't have 15 credit hours, which is a norm. 15 credit hours is like the minimum or the safe space. So if a student does drop, then now down to maybe 12 credit hours, they're still full time. But 15 to finish is the goal. 15 per semester should meet every credit hour or total number of credit hour for graduation. And then if you drop, it takes you to 12, you might pick up a class somewhere or at some point. But also keep it in mind, some institutions will let you take up to 18 at whatever that standard price is, at whatever that standard cost is. But once you go past 18, it's an additional dollar cost. So when you're calculating the cost of college, look at your in-state, out-of-state, on campus, off campus. And if you're online, sometimes those fees are different as well. So you want to have to look at all of that.
I was an 18-hour student. Yeah, me too.
Overachiever. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Overachiever. Nothing wrong with that. But 18 is a lot. You have any other questions?
Nah, my questions have been answered.
Your mind over there spinning like.
Man, it's showing up here. I got it.
You don't have somebody to graduate, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I got a 13-year-old, well, soon to be 13-year-old, that I got to get her life together because, Davidson, that's the school she goes to. It's very different from public school. Well, from when I was in middle school, it's very different. And she's really on her own out there. And I get in conversations with her teachers, I look at her grades, and it's like she's doing the work. She's not turning it in because she's expecting somebody to tell her to turn it in or to do this or do that. She's not that. And now she's 12. I get it. That's something that has to be taught to her. But like you talking about all this stuff, like, oh my gosh, she's going to be out here by herself and I can't do anything about it. And it's just something that as a parent, you got to think about, like, yeah, it's not 13th grade. You let that child go and they are in this world now and in college, and they have to navigate a lot of that stuff by themselves. And so, yeah, so somebody like you that said, hey, I can't talk to you about that. What was it called? What was that policy called? FERFA. No, talk to me. That's on your child. But no,
and that's our safe one.
Yeah.
We can't say that. So it's important for parents to have the conversation before they even get to 12th grade about advocacy. Well, how would you resolve this issue if you're having this issue currently at Davidson? They didn't tell me to turn my work in, so what do we need to do about it? So if you talk/teach through those scenarios, it kind of prepares them for the dialogue and the advocacy in college. Because a lot of people like to think that advocacy is just marching side by side, kumbaya. But you have to be able to, in many cases, professors do be wrong sometimes. Yeah. They may miss the mark. And when I say miss the mark, because they have so many rosters.
Right.
But you turn your work in, like, no, I submitted this. I always tell my students, keep everything in black and white.
Yep.
And you email.
Yep.
If you follow for the last email you sent, hey, I'm just checking in on this, what I sent 2 weeks ago.
That teacher or professor is human too. They can make a mistake.
And they make errors, and we make errors, we make mistakes. So I'm like, dang, I did miss that. Thank you. And it's your grade, so you want to be able to advocate for it properly. So with her being, what you said, middle school? Yeah. It's a good point for her to check in now, and whatever her interest may be. It's not too early to do shadowing, asking questions, visiting colleges. It's never too early for that.
And there's Well, she old enough for the college road trip they're doing this.
Oh.
No, she's not old enough for it. But what we do, we recently did this. We took her to Georgia Southern, and just to let her see what a college actually looks like. She's used to AU, so she doesn't really think of it. She just thinks it's a medical college because that's what she knows it as.
Right.
But we took her to Georgia Southern, and so she's like, "Oh, I want to go to Georgia Southern." I said, "Calm down. There's other colleges out there."
So probably the greatest experience for, parents that are trying to help their student or their child find their way is to attend the actual high school days that colleges have, because you get to see everything in one day. The academics, the athletics, the school spirit, professors, the president, the actual energy that the school gives. Every campus has a different vibe, so I wouldn't just say I'm going to school because I like the team.
And this is the season, kind of the season for that between, spring and summer.
I just sent a friend at least about 8 of them. 8 are coming up, and they might be all back to back or overlap. I just got to choose which one to attend. And some of them are free. It's just getting to them. So those high school days, whatever day they call it, senior days, they don't really put an age cap on those. So middle schoolers be there, youth groups be there, high school students be there, those that consider the transfer be there. That's a good thing.
Weren't you looking into that? So that's a lot of information.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. Any closing thoughts or advice or what have you?
A closing thought, I would say to utilize strongly the dual enrollment, because that could also minimize the cost of college, because you could be done in 3 years versus 4. So taking advantage of that early is a plus.
Most high schools have that now. Right?
So the dual enrollment, and even if they're trying to be on a fast track, there's so many, other aspects to look at when you're trying to finish quickly. So students that may want to take a course at another institution, all you got to do is just make sure that your school accepts that credit. If I'm going home for the summer, I want to see if these classes are going to transfer to my degree, and it helps minimize time. But again, you're paying for that as well. So as a closing remark, the money is there. Look for the money, apply yourself, write about yourself, know what you want to do, and continue to search for it. Because they do exist. Awesome. They do exist. The money is there.
You hear that? The money is there.
Yeah.
Make sure you go apply for it. Wow. Thank you so much. Like, my mind is still spinning. I keep forgetting how long ago I went to school and how things have changed.
Benny.
But so families, students, make sure you listen to this episode and bookmark everything.
Take notes.
But we thank Dr. Cranford for coming on and providing us all his wisdom. And until the next time we meet, I'm LaShawna.
This is Malcolm.
And I'm Dr. Cranford.
And this is The Family Fortune. See ya.
Thanks for having me.